Welcome, y'all. This is probably one of my first audios I have done since Lord knows how long. And I am here with Tama Girl, known as Shelethia, my home girl that was not with me during WrestleMania 30, but it's all good. Say hey, girl.
How you doing?
And we are also here with Brandon, and also here with Dustin. And Dustin just did an audio with Vente Kid. For y'all that haven't seen it, it's actually on my Wrestling Fan Nation page. And we are here with Brandon. I don't know why I keep calling you Brian, dude. I think I have Daniel Bryan on the brain, but but we are here with Brandon, and Brandon is actually an up and coming wrestler. He is an amateur wrestler, and he is a great heel. So honestly, if you have any footage, I hope y'all have some footage. I would love to see you in action, man, because you are like one of the best heels, especially off the lines I've heard.
Well, I'm flattered, really, but there's plenty of people better than me at that.
Okay, but since they have way better internet than me, then you're gonna probably hear their responses faster. I am on satellite, which means I'm probably having 8 second delay. So if I pop in at random times, it's because of that reason. But let's move on with this audio. Our first topic of this audio is going to be about the death of Ultimate Warrior. This is something that kind of hit us hard. I ended up finding out 10 minutes after he died from Triple H's tweet that he actually had on Twitter, and then the tweets kept coming from there. And I kept thinking it was like a lie. Like I kept thinking it was somebody spammed Triple H's Twitter account, and I thought it was a fake until I found out that it was really true, and I'm devastated by it. But I want to hear y'all's thoughts.
Oh, well, I was just gonna start singing.
Well, I guess I can go. For me, it was kind of surreal to me seeing Ultimate Warrior at the Hall of Fame this year. He seemed so happy, and I'm not gonna say he seemed very healthy, because to me he did seem like he was at least sick. That's just me, though. I don't know if y'all got that impression, but I got the feeling he was sick even then.
Yeah, I kind of did.
I mean, I didn't pay that. Never mind, though. I mean,
Well, I mean, you got a point. I mean, he looked good at the he looked good at the Hall of Fame, but when he came on Raw, it was just something different about him. Like he looked like it was really tough for him to stand. And not only that, his speech was eerie. His speech sounded like somebody who knew that he was ready to go, that knew that he was going to die. And that was creepy. And I was like, okay, this can't be right. Like maybe this is just how the Ultimate Warrior is. I mean, the Ultimate Warrior always said eccentric stuff, so that's why I kind of took it with a grain of salt. But a part of me was like, okay, something's wrong here. But I mean, it was so surreal, and that speech is what made it even more eerie. But Dustin, how do you feel? Because you're quiet.
Oh man, I'm sitting around my brain. I'm like, it's crazy. We did with having it the wrestling, man. I mean, Taker losing his streak on Sunday, then Ultimate Warrior. I mean, like you said, he goes in the Hall of Fame just last Saturday. Squashes the beef with Vince, gets back on good terms with WWE again. Has his new TV coming out, makes a Raw promo, but even watching the Raw promo last week, he didn't look very healthy at all. I was like, he does not look good. He was sweating, and you could tell something was wrong. And then come to find out, the next day we learned that he passed away. I mean, talk about hitting with 1,000 bricks over the head. I mean, like, you just saw this guy 3 days ago, on the Hall of Fame giving a speech, and all of a sudden now he's gone, just like that. It was like so surreal. I didn't believe it at first. I thought it was like another internet rumor, but come to find out, it was true, and I'm still shocked about it. I mean, this guy has two young daughters, so they lost a father, and we lost another legend. You know.
Yeah,
It's
I
so
mean,
sad.
it's
appreciate the legends while they're here, because tomorrow's never promised.
you're right. But I
I know
think.
I just think that
there's
I
all
mean,
that.
But did anybody
it's
notice
sad. I
how
mean,
completely devastated his wife looked? Like it seemed like how that when these wrestlers point out their wives, thank their wives and their family, that they're flattered, and there's tears of joy. but she was balling. It was to the point where she knew something was up. I don't know. Maybe I'm overanalyzing it, but it just seemed kind of eerie. Even then, their reaction and the girls, they were smiling and everything like they were oblivious, but it had to be something that the wife had to have known was wrong.
Well, I'm kind
I
of
really think that
curious to know if he had a heart attack before.
That is a good question, but you know, and you know, when we have a little bit more time after we ran about the streak, I want to talk about another topic real quick. But yeah, that is a question. I don't know what his health was beforehand, but I know that I know that there was could be possible steroid abuse. I don't know. I'm not going to make that assumption, so I'm not going to really go there.
I don't know how true it is, but supposedly the official results of his what do they call it?
Autopsy?
Yeah, sorry, the word slipped my mind for a second. The official results came back, and he's actually been suffering from heart disease for some time.
Wow.
That would make sense. His raw was kind of weird.
Drugs and alcohol were non-related. It was just a freak natural accident.
Ha! Ha! That proves. Take that, Nancy Grace.
I knew you'd say it.
Yes. And we will talk about that towards the end. But now, I hate to move it along from something that's somber and heartbreaking to a lot of fans. I know it sounds like I'm pushing along, but the 15 minutes, y'all get it. But let's move on to the streak, because the streak is going to take probably maybe 10 minutes of ranting. So, and I want to really fit the whole Nancy Grace thing in. So let's kind of talk about the streak. How did y'all feel personally witnessing history happen in your face?
I know how I feel about it.
Strangling my pillow. Strangling my pillow.
Brock Lesnar.
Shock for the dick. Probably the most shocking moment in the history of the business, I would say. I would honestly say that. Shocker, though.
I didn't get a chance to see it. I was somewhere else, and Regina texted me, and I almost messed up a live set. I was watching a friend do a live singing set, and I almost messed him up because I was that close to screaming inside the restaurant. It was not a happy feeling.
Girl, if I had that footage would have been gold.
Yeah. It was not going to be pretty. Man, it was not pretty. And then, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Go ahead.
Brandon, I want to hear you, man. You sound like you holding in some rage. Come on.
Let it out.
Okay, to start this off, 3 words. Fuck Brock Lesnar.
I love you, Brandon Fantasy, right now, just because of those 3 words. You know what? You ain't even got to say I love you. You just look at me, hand me, and say fuck Brock Lesnar, and I will be yours forever.
I'm just getting started is the bad thing. Those 3 words are just the tip of the iceberg.
Oh no.
This was so stupid on so many damn levels. You take how many years of building this streak up, and then, you know, what are we giving at the end? Are we giving it
nothing?
You know, if
Bullshit.
they wanted to end it.
Shit.
No, thank you.
You're welcome.
When Lesnar hit that third F5 and got him down for the pin, and it hit 2, I'm like, there's no way. And then as soon as it did, you know that going around with that shocked fan?
Oh gosh, hilarious.
With the glasses and big wide eyes.
Hilarious.
The black guy?
Yeah.
Imagine that face on me for about 10 minutes after it happened. I couldn't believe. I felt physically sick to my stomach. Physically sick to my stomach watching Undertaker walk away. I'm like, that's it. That's it. I just kept saying that. That's it.
Wow. Dang, I guess I really am the oddball here. I'm the odd woman out. Because honestly, I thought that was a great way to go out. Because the fact that he did it quietly, the fact that he did it with he asked his friend to do it, he handpicked this guy, asked him to take down the streak, and the fact that nobody knew, instead of social media always spoiling it for everybody, nobody knew. They did it quietly and they shocked the world. I love the outcome. I love the reaction. I thought that was a great way for him to go out because he did it quietly and privately for his own personal terms. He didn't do it for sheer entertainment. He did it for his health. And I honestly thought that it was a great way to go. And I guess I'm the odd woman out.
I think that's bullshit. I think that is bullshit. That is 22 years of fucking respect you just flushed down the goddamn toilet. You don't do that shit. You just don't do that.
But that's the thing. People were respecting the streak, not respecting the Taker. Did anybody really fear Taker since it went to number 15? No. When it started to grow, I really felt like people were thinking more of the streak than Taker. Seriously.
But you gotta think about it. Who are they catering to now? They're catering the kids. It doesn't matter. The adults. Oh yeah, we respect him. We respect him for going out there and whipping ass for 22 years. We know he was tired. We know he done went through everything in his power that he could possibly give. But you don't let that man walk away in shame like this shit. Whether he liked it or not, well, that's some bullshit. That man needs to be carried out on folks' shoulders because he made the ultimate price. Nobody is going to ever touch that 22-year record, no matter what happened. Nobody. Let that man ride out like a motherfucking king.
But that's the thing. I don't think it was pressed. I really don't think it was pressed for him to end it. No, I think they wanted to keep it going. But let's be honest. This is the best thing that ever happened in WWE because they're not going to be relying on the streak for the WrestleMania anymore. They got to be a little bit more creative. They got to get off their butts and do something. And also we saw just on Raw after WrestleMania, one of the best Raws that I haven't seen in a while, how they promoted NXT and people from NXT. They're starting to build their future stars. That's what they need to do in the first place. And now that the streak is gone, they got no choice. And let's face it, if it wasn't for the streak ending, Daniel Bryan would not be the champ. He would not be the champ. He would have lost. Let's be real about that. It helped out Daniel Bryan. Just like CM Punk leaving helped out Daniel Bryan. It went all to the greater good, in my opinion.
Don't get me started on CM Punk. But the thing about it for me is, I would argue that you've taken one of the only reasons to look forward to Mania and went flush with it. All these years that I've been watching, the one thing that I would sit there, no matter how crappy the rest of the Mania card would look like, I would go, you know what? At least Taker's gonna bring it home. I could at least have that. But now, what am I going to do when a Mania card looks crappy? Taker's not going to be around. If he is, I'm not going to give a fuck. What's he fighting for now? The streak's gone. You know?
Well, I mean, you have a point about that because that is the main draw.
He was going to retire regardless. And my whole thing is, if he's retiring, if he's walking away from